All right, hey everybody, World War Guy here. This is part 2 of my helmet collection update, whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, we're doing part 2. We're going to do the rest of the helmets, and let's just start it. You know what this is about. All right, so bottom left here we have the Czechoslovakian VZ32 helmet. This one has original paint. It has original canvas con chin strap, which is actually less common than the leather chin strap. Inside you have the original liner pads. Now I've explained this in one of my other videos, I believe it was an update video, but basically these 2 pads are original to the helmet, I believe, while the other 3 are possibly replacements, because that was the goal. You remove the 1 rivet here, you take out the 1 pad, you replace the pad needed, which is actually a pretty good system. All right, then you have the Swedish M26 helmet. You know, M26 developed around 1936. Very simple. You have a gray paint on it. You have a 3-pad liner, leather chin strap, and you have the 3 yellow crowns for Sweden there. All right, moving on to Bulgaria. This is the M36 Model A Bulgarian helmet. I have a video specifically explaining the differences between Model A, B, and C. So check that out if you're confused. Now these were made in 1936. They were actually first made in Germany, so this is made pre-World War II and possibly used in World War II. Now this one of course has post-war green paint, post-war liner, and a post-war chin strap. Nonetheless, very nice to have, considering its history. Alright, then you have the Bulgarian M36 Model B helmet. Again, this one was made during World War II. And it has post-war green paint, post-war liner, and a post-war chin strap. Some writing inside, possibly a name. This one is a regiment. I have a video explaining that, so check that out as well. And again, considering these were made in World War II, even though it's post-war modifications, it's still a really cool helmet. All right, last Bulgarian helmet. You have the M36 model, you're correct, C. This one just basically different in liner system, but here you have again post-war paint. You have a 3 color shield, post-war liner, post-war chin strap. Not in the best condition, but nonetheless very cool helmet to have. Glad to have it. All right, now we're moving along with the Russian helmets. Now up here you have the SSH-40 helmet. So this is what the Russians used in World War II. This one, however, is a post-war made one. Basically, the only difference is the year it was made. Otherwise, it has the exact same liner and chin strap used during World War II. Then, like all the other countries we've seen so far, after World War II, Russia went ahead and improved their helmets, which now we have the SSH-60 helmet. Basically, the only difference, though, is the way the liner is attached. That's really the only difference, because you can see it's the same shape. This one, however, has a Afghan liner in it. So when you had the Russian war in Afghanistan, this one was most likely used there, and then Afghans stole it, found it, I don't know, had their own liner in it. And then here you have the Afghan writing. Those from Afghanistan who know the Afghan language, I'm sorry, I forgot what your language is called, so please forgive me. Yeah, so that's really cool. And there's still sand in there. And this was actually a vet bringback. A U.S. soldier, found this in Afghanistan and brought it back. All right, moving on. During the Cold War, you had the Warsaw Pact, so you had many countries under Soviet influence, who were communists as well, and many of them adopted the Soviet-style helmet. This one's the Hungarian M70 steel helmet. As you can see, it's very similar to the SSH-40 helmet. This one, you have a 4-padded liner with a 4-point chin strap. And if I remember correctly, the reason why this one's such a glossy, shiny paint is basically to combat infrared. Something to do with infrared, I kind of forgot, so if you want to correct me, go ahead. All right, now we're going to talk about the United States. As you may have guessed, most of my viewers are from the United States, so kudos. Or, ignore that. I don't know what I was trying to say. All right, during World War I, when the Americans joined, they didn't really have their own developed helmet, so they purchased and used a lot of British-made helmets, the Mk1. But during World War I, the Americans also made their own version of this, which really the only difference is the D-rings here. The British were split pins, while the Americans had rivets there. So that makes this one the M1917 helmet. Really the only difference from the British one is those rivets. All right, then here's another example of an M1917 helmet. This one is original with a repro liner inside. Again, American made because of the rivet there. And so yeah, you can see this one's a bit more greener. They did have different color varieties during World War I. All right, then here is a nice example. This one's an M1917 helmet, possibly used during World War I, but post World War I, somebody painted their division insignia on there. So this one's for the 89th Infantry Division. It's otherwise known as the Rolling W. And this one, the person wearing it, or who owned it, put in their city's name, so Phoenix, Arizona. So that's really cool, makes this very unique and personalized. Original liner from the time period, which is very nice. You don't see that way too often. So yeah, very nice example, very good find. All right, and then right before the United States joined World War I, they developed a new helmet because they used this with certain modifications up until 1941. And that was the M1 helmet, which is basically just a steel pot, as you can see. There's not much to it, small dip. Besides that, it's just a pot that you throw on your head. These were one size fits all, unlike other helmets who were made at different sizes. So this one was one size, and you adjust the sweatband here to fit your head. This one's my refurbished one. Check out the video of me refurbishing it so you guys can check it out and hear more details on it. But yeah, nice example there. All right, here's another example of the M1 helmet. This one has actually original paint and original everything. Nothing's been done to it. As you can see, the liners were removable. So the liner's broken or whatever, you toss this out, you get a new one, and you're good to go. All right, then around 1984, if I remember correctly, the US started making helmets or developing helmets in Kevlar, which is not steel. It's a sort of a composite of fabric is the way I understand it. But so here you have the M84 PASGT helmet. This is the same helmet that would have been used in Operation Desert Storm in Kuwait in 1990, 1991. This one has the chocolate chip camo on it. Inside you still have the very typical M1 helmet liner inside with an improved chin strap. So there's that. This is probably my most modern helmet in my collection. All right, moving along, let's go to Switzerland. Here we have the Swiss M18-43. So the Swiss, they were neutral during both world wars, but they still kept up to date with their military equipment. And this is their steel helmet. As you can see, it's black with a heavy texture on it. Inside, you had a 3-pad liner, leather chin strap, and then this one specifically, you can see who owned it when they were in service. It's a really cool helmet. I really like the design. It's just kind of a badass looking helmet. All right, but even though Switzerland was neutral and still is for a lot of conflict, they also updated and upgraded their helmets. This one is the Swiss M71 helmet. Basically, the way it looks, they cut off the visor from that one and they painted it green. This one has a 4-pad liner with also a 4-point chin strap. And these are very silly looking helmets, but it must work if they use it. All right, last group of helmets. We're almost done here. Thank you for watching if you started from part 1. You have Yugoslavia. So Yugoslavia during the Cold War, they were part of the Warsaw Pact, but they weren't, they didn't really like, I guess, the Soviet style helmets, so they developed their own. which is the M59-85. So first was the M59, which was slightly different than this. Then with some small modifications, this became the M59-85. All right, so this one has the red star for, when Yugoslavia was still, united, was still one country. This one has an American style liner, which is what they went for. I guess they preferred that versus other liners. This one's kind of beat up. There's some parts missing, but I have a better example in a second here. As you can see, it also kind of has the German style shell with American style liner. Oh my God, I moved you. Okay, almost done. Here we have another Yugo M59-85. This one though has the Serbian double-headed eagle there, because during the Civil War, different sides wanted to still use helmets to stay protected, but they didn't necessarily want the red star, so they had these stickers produced and just slapped them on the helmet and they were good to go. As you can see behind it, you can still see the red star. So this is what the liner would have looked like if it was still in good condition, and this one's still not in that good condition, but you see it's basically an exact copy of the American M1 helmet liner. All right, last helmet, another Yugo M59-85. This one though is the Yugo Army. So I guess this was, when they were during the Civil War, this was those who represent Yugoslavia. That's how I understand it. And then here is the liner. Again, you can see American style, sweatband, everything like that. While German style shell. All right, so that was the video. We are done. We have seen all 38 helmets. I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part series. And if you did, make sure you write a comment, you drop a like. You have any questions, please ask them in the comments. I'll happily answer them for you. Share the video, subscribe. But besides that, you guys have a great day.